Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors US, and today we're going to be talking about episode 5. Now we are currently halfway through the series and I gotta say it's starting to heat up a little bit. We still haven't found any traitors, but it seems like people are slowly starting to put the pieces together in order to make the larger picture. It's an interesting game because the traitors so far are laughing at them. And it is very, very funny to watch because they're just so focused on all the wrong people. So, without much further ado, let's get into the video. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support on this channel. We are currently sitting at 589 subscribers, which is absolutely wild. The fact that we are that close to 600 and it's not even anywhere near the end of the month is crazy. So let's keep pushing to that goal of 600 and then we can just keep on going up and up and up and up. And I've said up too many times and now I'm starting to think about the movie and it's making me sad. So we are going to move very swiftly into breakfast. So evidently at the Traitors Tower, it came down to Kyle or Ryan. Personally, I think the smart person to go for is Ryan, because Ryan people are not suspecting, but Kyle people are suspecting. So it's almost like you can use him as a shield and potentially get him voted out. As we saw at breakfast, Saria's worried that Steph could potentially be onto her. I don't think Stephanie is, but I think Cerie's worried that Steph will maybe start to work a few things out and that might cause her problems in the future. As for Christian, he is not the best actor when it comes to trying to sell the fact that he's really sad that people are gone or the fact that he's really nervous. It's a lot of like overacting. Cerie is not a trained actor herself as far as I'm aware, but she knows how to control herself and compose herself in order to give away just enough to make her look not guilty, but also hide the fact that she is in fact a traitor. Whereas I feel like Christian's almost overcompensating for that. So it is a little bit of a problem. I don't think anybody's picking up on it apart from Cerie, and obviously Cerie knows he's a traitor, so that's probably why she's picking up on it. But it is just interesting that it is being picked up on by at least someone. So the person that was murdered was Ryan, and I think that was the smartest decision personally. I think killing off Kyle could have potentially had a big backlash, or it might not have had the same desired effect as Ryan's murder. So it's interesting because you've got to juggle so many things. You've almost got to be planning 5 steps ahead. Okay, if I kill Ryan, how's that going to play out in the banishment? And then if that goes that way, who then do we kill tomorrow night? You've got to be thinking so many steps ahead all the time. And I've been playing the card game, the Traitors card game, with my friends. And it's a lot easier when you're amongst friends to work out who's the traitor because you know them. But when you're with a load of strangers, that could just be how they act, as we see with Kate. It's not really evidence that they're a traitor. It's just you can't use personality traits as like traitor bait or traitor excuses. I don't know, whatever. But the most interesting thing that happened at this breakfast was Cody making a grievous error. Cody turned to Kyle and went, you know, before Ryan, like before we all went to bed last night, Ryan said to me, the people I'm suspicious of are you, Kyle, Rachel, and Ari. And Kyle's sitting there going, huh, alright, cool. And then immediately, he pulls someone aside and goes, yeah, I think it's Cody because he's lying to me about what Ryan said, because I know for a fact Ryan did not suspect Rachel or Ari, and he most certainly did not suspect me, and if he did, then that was him lying to me over and over again, and I don't understand why he would do that. So, essentially, Cody's cracked the code. He's told Stephanie, and they might be working out a little something, you know. So, just a few suspicions before we head on to the mission. I thought it was actually very, very interesting how we got to see more of the Kate versus Rachel dynamic. I don't really know what the beef is there, but there is some kind of beef, and it is hilarious. Kate just cannot stand being around Rachel, and I honestly, I don't understand why, because I don't even think Rachel was that bad, but also I get when you're just so like someone just irritates you so much, you don't want to be around them. So Kate's kind of doing that, but then that's making Rachel think that it might be Kate, and then Kate in turn thinks that it might be Rachel. It's so ludicrous to me that everyone's just sort of like voting off of like, oh, I just don't like this person. They have to be a traitor then. That's not really how it works, because yeah, it's just a poor choice, if I'm being 100% honest. Speaking of like just getting bad vibes from people, Quentin was like, "Oh, I think it's Kyle." And when he was asked why, he was like, "Oh, he's just constantly deflecting, and like he uses like big motivational speeches. He's like, "Oh, we're always looking at the wrong place. We need to, as a collective, come together on one person and stop being distracted." And Quentin was like, "Yeah, that's suspicious, because like that's something a traitor would do." No, it isn't. Ah, most 9 times out of 10, a traitor is not going to be the loudest voice at the table unless they're being blamed. Kyle has not been blamed, so why would he be a loud voice at the table? There's no reason for him to do anything other than sit back if he's a traitor and let other people fight it out. That's exactly what Saria's done. I don't even know if Saria's spoken up around the round table apart from when she's given her vote. She's played this game like a fucking fiddle. It's incredible how she's playing the game. And honestly, I am surprised that no one's calling her out, because she is a 4-time Survivor player, which is absolutely crazy. So she's got history of like backstabbing and sort of all of these different alliances and things like that. So like, I don't know. I feel like I would be more suspicious of her, but everyone seems to really trust her. It's almost like the Amanda effect from UK1. I wonder whether Sari will just make sort of one mistake that kind of makes everyone go, huh, we haven't looked at you yet. Because that's what happened to Amanda. That's what killed Amanda's game, unfortunately. So, the mission was pretty shit. It was just the riddle one. We've seen it on UK1. We've seen it on US1. We also saw it on Australia 2. So, like, it's just a tired concept. And I get this one was filmed first. So, like, it's not their fault. But, like, this was quite boring to watch. The riddles were, like, a bit meh as well. And one team was significantly better than the other. Embarrassingly so. Like, very much so embarrassingly. We had team 1, which had like Christian and Sarion, and they got every single riddle correct before the other team. The other team got none of them and made so many mistakes. And Rachel was on the other team that lost, and I think she started the game by going, "Oh, I'm really, really good at riddles, guys. I'm so good at riddles," and I'm pretty sure she got 2 of them wrong. Yeah, bit of a tough one. Bit of a tough one for that. I literally was writing 2 in a row for team 1, 3 in a row, 4 in a row. Oh, that's the game over. Lol. And then I wrote, team 2 is pretty bad at this, to be honest. Sucked ass. So yeah, that was pretty much the entire mission. They managed to get £20,000. I'm pretty sure their prize balance is now $115,000, because I think it was 114,900, and Alan Cummins was kind of like, make it 115,000. I don't know if he has the power to do that, but like, it would be funny if they're like, if he comes off set and they're like, why did you give them an extra $100? It's like, felt sorry for them. But yeah, so that was the mission. Not really much to report. Let's move on. Okay, so we have some suspicions before we head into the round table. Rachel, unfortunately, trusts Christian like 100%, so bit of a dodgy one there. Rachel, you're not playing a very good game at the moment. When I rank this series, I don't know whether I'm going to rate you very highly. People have got to start making some good moves now, or we are fucked. I'm fucked for the for the ranking, because currently no one's doing a bang up job apart from Sari. Like, Christian is doing an okay job. Cody's pretty much blown his cover. And then all the faithfuls are just dreadful. Apart from Kyle. Kyle's worked it out. And so has Stephanie. So, although Stephanie's still, like, on Kate's behind. So, like, oh, honestly, it is just a bit of a nightmare at the moment. Essentially, people are thinking that Kyle could have potentially taken out Ryan as a decoy, but then Sari was like, I'm going to go tell Kyle that his name's being mentioned, and then that's when Kyle was like, oh, I have a strategy, but I can't tell you about it, and it was just a bit weird, and then Kyle did tell Andy about the whole Cody thing, and then it just got really awkward, really complicated, and just a touch messy, because Andy was then like, well, this is information that I could have used with earlier on, and the fact that you're bringing it up before the round table is just a little bit suspicious, especially because people have been mentioning your name today. So, like, what's that all about? I think one of the things that is so frustrating about the traitors is when someone comes in with very, very good evidence and is like, oh, this person said XYZ to me, and I know this to be, like, false. But then other people are like, oh, but your vibe's just off. Like, you're acting like a traitor. What? How is that a better argument than this is my evidence, here it is? It's almost like in a criminal court where the prosecutor goes, oh, no, okay, actually. The defense goes, okay, this could not have happened because of X, Y, Z. And the prosecutor just goes, yeah, but your client's vibe is just weird. He obviously did it. That's not a defense, or that's not a prosecutor thing. No, that's purely conjecture. And I need people to start speaking up and being like, why are we hanging people based on their vibes? Because we've had 3 people in a row now. We've had Geraldine, Brandy, and now Michael voted out purely because of a vibe that you've gone on. But when there's solid evidence brought up, and Andy actually brought up the fact that Kyle had started defending himself more when he heard his name, which makes absolute sense. If I started hearing my name, I'd be like, yo, let me prove to you I'm not a traitor, because I'm hearing my name and I don't want to go home. So what's going on? Please tell me why you think I'm a traitor, and then I'll tell you why I'm not. And then Kyle was like, basically like, look, I'm going to bring up Cody's name. Kyle did fucking take his time, though. Kyle likes to do this, I've got information, kind of dangling the carrot. And then when people are like, just fucking tell us. Just tell us, please, for the love of God. Because you're just dangling it. And it's so frustrating to watch, because he then goes, oh, I think it's Cody. And by that point, I feel like people have just checked out. And Kyle actually brought up the fact that he knew that the names that Cody had read out, Ryan would not have said, because Ryan had said completely different names to him. So Ryan was either lying, which is highly unlikely considering he's a faithful, and there's no sort of, what's the word? There's no bonus to lying unless he did think it was Kyle. But like, it just seems like a far-fetched theory. The more appropriate theory, or the more applicable theory, I don't even know what the word is the fact that Cody could have been lying, and it's kind of blown Cody's game wide open. And Steph was then like, oh, if I was a traitor, I feel like I would be a nervous wreck when my name had been called out. And honestly, Cody, you're kind of acting like that right now. And Cody was like, oh, well, anxiety, guys, woo. And I was like, I really hate when people use the, oh, I'm just quiet, I like to sit back, I find it hard to talk in situations like this. I hate that excuse. I really fucking hate it, because it's always the traitors that use it. And then people are always like, oh, okay, cool. No, I'd be pressing him. I would keep piling the pressure on until he cracked, because either he's so innocent that none of this will matter, and oh, I don't even know. I don't even know, but like Cody's excuse, and then when Rachel, no, someone accused him of like, well, you've been on Big Brother, you were good at Big Brother. I'm pretty sure he won Big Brother, so clearly he's good at manipulation and all that. And then Cody kind of just went, but Big Brother's a completely different game. It is, but there are transferable skills. If you're a traitor, you have to lie and deceive, and that's kind of what you have to do in Big Brother. So it does seem rather disingenuous of you to be like, oh, they're completely different games, when 95% of the people in that room know what Big Brother is like, and so therefore know that it's actually a tough game, and therefore it's gonna be, oh, I don't know. I'm getting frustrated now purely because Cody's fucked up and he's somehow worming his way out of it. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know who to root for in this series, because then you've got Rachel chiming in going, oh, I still think it's Kate. And I just think, oh, leave it off. And I can't remember who it was that was like, yo, what's going on here? Because if I was Kate and I was a traitor, I would not be being that boisterous. I would not be putting myself in shit all the time. I would be playing it a quieter game. Why would she put herself in so much shit? Because that just makes her look hella suspicious. And honestly, I did completely agree with that point. And then Steph was like, oh, you're always bringing up names, like specific people's names over and over again. And Kate was like, I feel like I've accused everyone. And then Steph was like, name the names, Kate. And then Kate was like, I have, so fuck you. And it just got a little bit heated, a little bit tense. And honestly, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because I feel like the issue is that Kate is making herself look so suspicious to the point where people no longer believe she is suspicious, which is kind of a good strategy, actually, now I'm thinking about it, because you almost get people off of your back by being this suspicious, being this defensive. It just, her gameplay doesn't line up with someone who would be a traitor. Why would you gun so hard to get Michael out? Be like, my game is on the line if he's wrong, when you know he's wrong. It's like, okay, let me explain this a little bit better. So, if Kate was a traitor, and she knows that Michael is a faithful, and she's gunning for Michael, why would she then say, if he isn't a traitor, vote me off next? Because if she was a traitor, and she knows he's a faithful, if they vote him off, and he gets up there and says he's not a faithful, she's going to get voted out. There is no incentive for her to say that. And I feel like people haven't picked up on that yet. The fact that that proves that she is innocent or faithful. I think I really would be good at this game. But I feel like I would just be surrounded by so many stupid people. And then I end up getting voted out because I'm the only one with fucking common sense. Oh, so frustrating sometimes. I try not to get angry, but like, the traitors is like the rare time where I'm like, really? Really? Okay, fine. Voting time. So, Cody voted for Kyle. Shelby voted for Kyle. Angelica voted for Kyle. Steph voted for Kate. Kyle voted for Kate. Rachel voted for Kate. Quentin voted for Kyle. Sari voted for Kyle. Amanda voted for Kate. Kate voted for Kyle. Andy voted for Kyle. Ari voted for Kyle. Christian voted for Kyle. So that is a total of 9 votes for Kyle, 4 votes for Kate. Honestly, I'm gutted that Kyle's gone. From the Traitors' point of view, this is perfect because they've survived another banishment. However, in going out as a faithful has kind of put Cody's game on the line. And it's now not looking good for Cody. It's a tough one because now Cody's kind of on the back foot. He's having to do damage control. He's having to explain himself. And he's now saying that he's sus of Stephanie. And Stephanie's saying that she's pretty much certain that it is Cody. So it's going to be an interesting backwards and forwards. Now, Kyle leaving. He had a good exit speech. There was good moments. Everyone was shocked. Once again, this is the 4th faithful they've voted out. They've lost almost half of the game of the contestants, which is absolutely crazy. There was 13 people in this episode. There's now 12, and that's almost half of the player base gone. That's crazy. So the final thing that I want to talk about is the fact that they went up to Traitors Tower, and then they started talking, and then there was a knock at the door opened, and they were all like, oh, and it was very clearly fake reactions, because it was quite embarrassing to watch, actually. I feel like this is, if there's a version that's kind of like, not scripted, but sort of led by producers, let's say, I'd say it's this series, because there's a lot of moments that feel very unnatural, and this was definitely one of them. All that's happening is probably Alan walking through the door to inform them that they've got to put people on trial or something, or that they're going to have to murder in plain sight tomorrow, or some bullshit like that. It doesn't feel like they are giving us genuine cliffhangers, because we've seen this before, but also I have to bear in mind that this was made for an American audience who hasn't seen the Traitors before, so I can appreciate that. I just think it's a bit of a shit cliffhanger, because I sat there and went, oh, so it's Alan coming through the door. It's not like it's another fucking person, is it? Shelby's not going to fucking walk through the door and be like, oh my god, guys, I meant to go to the bathroom. Sus, guys. I'll just leave you to it. Sus. Yeah. So, that was today's episode. A little bit of a longer episode for you guys, only by like a couple of minutes, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and do all them YouTube stuffs that you guys do so well. We're almost to 600. We're on like the road to 1,000. Still a way away, but we're making headway. We're making good headway. It's only been just under 2 weeks since we hit 500, so let's keep that going. I've been really impressed with you guys, but let's keep that momentum building. You guys can do this. I believe in you. I'll be back tomorrow for more Traitors, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Stay safe. There's traitors out there.